Hello friends, welcome back. Welcome to my channel Avinya Astrology. Uh, I'm an astrology enthusiast and I do study astrology to get very deeper understanding of the subject. And this post is about some of the things which I have gone through, I did during my journey of learning astrology. And I hope this would be helpful to people who are pursuing this as a field of study. Okay, and my take is approach this subject as if you're learning a new skill and not keep the commercial aspect out of it, at least for a year when you start learning. And today, if I see social media, there are a lot of things which are very popular, like KP astrology, the number of formulas, number of methods people come and talk about. There are a lot of videos, there is an information overload. But what I would suggest is, if anyone is having an interest in astrology, it's a deep science and it needs a little bit of common sense in understanding the subject. So keep the commercial aspect out of it while you learn it. I would suggest you start with Vedic astrology first. Understand the fundamentals of Vedic astrology, characteristics of planets, characteristics of houses, nakshatras, aspects, conjunct, characteristics of Rahu and Ketu, uh, how many, how much time each planet takes to travel through the zodiac. Okay, and a different aspect. These are some of the fundamentals. It may sound very easy from the beginning, from outside, but when you start looking at a particular house with respect to aspects, conjunct, and multiple variable factors, it's mind-boggling. So it is very interesting subject, field of study. So I would suggest you take as much as time you can in understanding the basics of Vedic astrology. Don't try to be an expert from day one. Try to go step by step. Understand the basics. And some other things you should know by heart, like nakshatras, which are the planets represent which nakshatras, how the zodiac is divided among nakshatras, divided among the rashis, and what is the meaning of retrograde, what is the meaning of transit. You should be able to know a bit of panchanga as well. So these are some of the basic stuff you should know by heart if you are a serious astrology learner. I'm saying here learner, I'm not saying as a professional astrologer who predict and charge something. That's a different career option. My approach has been take this as a field of study, invest as much as time you can, and get better over a period of time. So start with Vedic astrology, learn it, observe it, synthesize the concepts, and dedicate daily some time in going through and strengthen your knowledge. That's one. Then comes the KP astrology, which is much more interesting, very modern, and a lot of people practice KP. And again, go back and learn the fundamentals of KP. What is the difference between KP and Vedic astrology? KP astrology talks about the importance of nakshatras, how they influence the decisions, outcomes of the events, etc. Sublord is the last level. KP said is the final decider. People go up to star of sublord as well. That's fine. And there are interesting, KP doesn't talk about aspects, conjunct, the way the Vedic astrology represent things. It's all about sublord, star lord, this unhouse groupings, and how they significant. Then integrate with your particular dasha bhukti antara, which is running at that point of query. It talks about the ruling planets, impact of ruling planets. You understand these nuances. You got to keep going back and refining it, and don't get lost in multiple videos which are available in social media. You just spend time, get the basics right. Krishnamurti Paddhati says sublord or star of sublord is the final decision maker, and it gives a range. For example, for an event, it can happen from this time to this time. So you don't have to go and pinpoint at the point in time, at this day, at this hour, at this minute this event can happen. It's not required, and there's no point in doing getting into over predicting the things. So my take is, take it at the sublord level. If you want to enhance your knowledge, there are 4-step theories. People talk about 6-step theories. 4-step: sign lord, star lord, sublord, and star of sublord. That's where they stop. Then they get into DBA and see the linkage, and they come, and then they see the moon's transit and come with the outcome. Um, Understand the significance of 6, 8, 12 in KP astrology perspective, what exactly they say. And other thing is, if you talk about a 6-step theory, it talks about occupant of a house and star and sub of the occupant, owner of the house, and star and sub of the owner. This is what it is. So nothing beyond this. So then the DBA, then they talk about transits, and then they look at the hora to go up to that particular time in a of an event can happen. And the more and more levels which you get into, you narrow down the, try to corner the event happening window. So that is what KP as people do. So there are multiple theories, multiple research papers, multiple videos, but get to the basics. You need to know the difference between KP chart. You need to know the difference between Rashi chart and KP chart. How the cusp theory is talked about in KP. Okay, and planet significators, cuspal significators. Uh, then you have this 4-step theory, 6-step theory, etc. will give, you would say, around 70 to 80% of your understanding. Start with your own chart, go and try to revalidate the events which happened in your life, try to know how the event birth time correction is done in KP. See the age of the person before getting into predicting certain things. And a lot of common sense you have to use. Just don't negate. Just because it is 12 it is negate, just because it is 8 it is negate. These houses also have certain significance in human life. For example, if you talk about 8th house, 8 represents transformation, deep research, R&D. 8 also talks about discipline, delay, accidents. So everything has got plus and minus. You need to see at the context of what time the question is asked, the age of a person, and the context of the question. So you need to relate this. You need to have a lot of common sense to derive it. There is no straight cut 1+1 rule. You need to put your mind behind deriving an outcome, and how that flavor of that outcome is going to be. So this is what KP does, and this thing needs a lot of practice, a lot of thinking, a lot of going back and forth, and revalidating your concepts, understanding of your concepts, etc. As I said, it is not a straight fit. It requires a lot of time and study. I would say go with a approach of a researcher, as an enthusiast, as a subject matter expert, rather than just predicting and for the sake of predicting and making it as a profession. Yeah, you do it as a profession once you excel in it, but my take is just go through the journey, get the basics and foundations right. Don't negate anything just for the sake of negating. See what the other person is saying, and go back and recheck using your chart. Then you will be able to understand the concepts better. So it's a very interesting subject. A lot of information overload is there in the internet today, but I would suggest approach is very important. Take it as a learner's approach, take it as a researcher's approach, take it as an enthusiast. Okay, challenge yourself in understanding. So over a period of time you will get better. Okay, and it's a lifelong learning. As you see more and more charts, you start decoding, going back, you recheck the while the particular prediction of yours has failed, why it has succeeded. That's how the journey that would be the journey, that would be a successful journey, I would say. So that is what I wanted to convey, and keep looking at this channel. There are some predictions which I put, something did not happen, something happened, so I am also in that learning curve. So I'm looking forward to speak to you again on this, and as I come across some new theory or some new ways, new subjects, a new way of predicting in KP, I will definitely post it. And let's keep this as a channel where you will not be bombarded with shortcuts. I stress more about learning, more about research, more about taking the right approach towards astrology. So please like, share, and subscribe. And looking forward to speak to you again. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.